I've been dating a girl online for a year and things are getting creepy. This story was first posted July 26th, 2025, pretty recently. I, 22 male, have been in a long distance relationship with my girlfriend, 29 female, who lives 1,500 kilometers away for about a year. Our first meeting is scheduled for a week. Wait a second, you haven't met yet? Our first meeting? Oh, we haven't met yet. Okay. She wants me to come over for 2 weeks, but I'm feeling increasingly uncomfortable and emotionally overwhelmed. We met online by chance and then slowly started texting and calling each other on Discord. Unfortunately, there were repeated times when she kept things from me or deliberately misrepresented them. For example, she lied about her job and only revealed right before the meeting that her supposed roommate, whom she had been telling me about regularly for 1.5 years, didn't exist at all. Instead, she lives with her landlord and employer. These confessions almost always came immediately after she pressured me to make some kind of promise or agree to something. What I found particularly distressing was that when we first met, she told me she was a lesbian and felt uncomfortable around men. Then, after 6 months, she confessed her feelings to me and without any time to think, asked me to be with her during the call. This was a complete surprise and made me think that otherwise, I probably would never have let her get so close to me to prevent exactly this kind of situation. I feel like I never really had a fair chance to get to know her. She kept confessions afterward, but I was never given time to think about it. I'm afraid that something unexpected might happen again at the planned meeting, and I'll end up in a situation that I can't get out of. This has severely shattered my trust, and I often wonder what will come to light next. Basically, our relationship is already characterized by a lot of negativity. I'm constantly accused of not doing enough for her, of my messages not being emotional and loving enough. And I'm constantly confronted with accusations from her and her roommate/landlord. And then I have to prove myself and explain myself for hours. So her roommate is also her landlord and coworker, is what I'm gathering here. With all the negativity and insecurities on her part, there's hardly any room left for anything else, anything positive. Nevertheless, she gets angry when I don't tell her enough about myself, when I spend all my time justifying myself or supporting her with her problems. She has high hopes for me. She desperately wants to move to Germany and start a family with me, but I'm still a student and I have neither financial security nor the mental capacity for such a big life step. Which I've also told her. She often says how lonely she is, how much she hates her surroundings, and that she has mental health issues, and I realize how much this weighs on me. I feel responsible, even though I barely know who she really is anymore. I don't want to hurt anyone, but I feel like I'm not up to this relationship and that I'm losing myself in it. She also hinted at something specific she would think about if we broke up, and it's completely destroying me inside. How can I end this relationship as respectfully as possible, especially considering that she's projecting so much onto me and relying so heavily on me? I want to be fair, but I just can't go on like this. I'm seeing so many red flags right now. First of all, I think you're 22, she's 29. She wants family life, husband, settling down. You're a student in your early 20s. You got so much time to figure out your life. I don't know. This is one big red flag to me. And I really hope you get out of it. Something's just, the sassy senses are telling me, get the F out. Get out. Run fast, run far, go on, get. Let's check out some of the top comments so far, because I'm nosy and I want to know what people are saying. Someone commented, that's not a relationship at all. You seem very naive and inexperienced to me. The woman must have taken advantage of that. You don't know her at all. You haven't even seen or met her yet, and you're making accusations. Just write a quick note saying you're no longer interested and then block her everywhere. I am not opposed to that idea. The OOP wrote back saying, I definitely approached the whole thing very naively and inexperienced. There's no other way to put it. My main problem isn't so much the decision itself, but rather the how. Sure, I could block her everywhere and send her a quick message, but that would certainly be the easiest thing for me. But in the end, I would still feel like an idiot and went along with it, which is why I feel it's my responsibility to at least tell her by phone before I end it and block her everywhere. At least I had read that it would be only fair to end the relationship the way you mainly communicate. For example, not by message if you mainly talk on the phone or meet in real life. I'm still down to do a quick little. For all we know, how do we know she's who she says she is? It could be a scam. She could be someone completely different. I don't know. That's just my trust issues talking though. And the fact that I watch a lot of 90 Day Fiancé and a lot of Catfish. Next comment. If you're in a relationship, that's fair, but you don't have one. She's just making you feel this strange responsibility. She's manipulating you. You don't owe her anything, especially since all this talk about her counting on you, etc. is definitely a lie. It's only meant to make you feel guilty. OOP wrote back, you are absolutely right. Thank you for your opinion. It definitely gives me hope that I can free myself from this. And yes, some of it is definitely manipulation. So much manipulative behavior eventually ceases to be accidental or thoughtless, but is simply planned to get their way, and I can't let it pressure me into doing things I don't want to do. Next comment, just write to her. A relationship wouldn't stand a chance on lies like that anyway, and say goodbye politely. Alternatively, you can tell her in person, but you don't owe her the way she treated you. She only continued to exploit and manipulate you. Why do you think the landlord was a roommate? Get it over with quickly, then you won't have to struggle with yourself for days. She won't break up with you anyway, she'll just move on to the next victim. OOP wrote back, yes, a message would probably be the best way to simply end it and put it behind us. It would certainly be nice in the end, but there would be zero added value to doing it over the phone. If I'm honest, she always talked about her roommate, that she heard her, that she was making noise, that they were going camping together, etc. Then she admitted that her landlord wasn't just anyone, but her employer, with whom she's also friends. Then 2 days later, she admitted that there was never a roommate, but that her landlord and employer were also her roommate, and that was always what she meant. Is this landlord coworker a male, a female? Are they two different people? Before that, she always referred to her roommate and employer as two separate people and never said anything about her roommate, even when asked. You've lost me. But truthfully, I don't even care to be on track. I just want to get to the tea. On the same post, someone ended up asking, did you end the relationship? And OOP wrote back, I just tried to end it via message, but she just came online, and honestly, I'm shocked. Without going into too much detail about my health, I currently have very poor blood values due to excessive stress, which could potentially lead to heart damage, several times the limit. Referring to this, I explained to her via message that this was all just too much for me emotionally and physically, and that I'm very worried about my heart. Her response was that I was taking it way too seriously and should just take some supplements and then everything would be fine. I should just take it easy now. There's no way we could cancel the trip now, and breaking up via text would be totally awful. I don't know, it just shocked me because it's incredibly bold. This is already painful with all the red flags, sir. I have a feeling you're gonna go on this trip, and I'm just gonna have to let you fly your little wings over there and learn your lesson the hard way. We have an update. This one came July 30th, 2025. 4 days later. What's happened since? I actually wanted to tell her my decision on a phone call on Monday evening and then give her space to respond. However, she immediately wanted to know what was going on via message, and I explained it to her, which must have been a real blow to both of us. She still wanted to talk about it on a call. However, after I got the feeling that she didn't really value my emotions and my health and responded by downplaying and denying them, I wrote her a final, detailed, and emotional farewell message and then blocked her on all platforms, not out of anger, but because I felt it was the only way to protect us both from a spiral of pain and because I was completely overwhelmed emotionally. However, she gave my phone number to a friend and asked for a final conversation yesterday afternoon to process what had happened. I felt guilty for ending everything so abruptly without giving her a chance to respond, so I agreed to a conversation this evening. Nevertheless, she wanted to wish me goodnight over the phone last night and started crying violently, saying she couldn't live without me and that the mere thought of me being with someone else one day was unbearable and that she was having thoughts of taking her own life. This unsettled me greatly, but I tried to stay calm and support her emotionally, while also making it clear that my decision was final, while also telling her that she was a strong person who could handle everything. This morning, she asked for another call with an important message and told me she was currently on a ship visiting relatives so she could have support around her during this upsetting situation. But then, unexpectedly, she shared with me a list of Airbnbs in my area and said she wanted to fly out to me next Monday to care for me, support me during my health challenges, and simply be there for me. She even said she would wait for me at the hospital if necessary. I panicked. I didn't say yes, but I didn't say no either. I just told her I needed some time to think. I felt completely trapped. Every clear boundary I try to establish is met with desperate feelings, and I don't know how to stand my ground without feeling like I'm letting someone down in real pain, because I'm sure they feel truly terrible and are clinging on. Not to hurt me, but still in a way that's emotionally captivating me. Honestly, I feel like I'm falling apart. I don't want to give her false hope, but her emotional intensity, her deep need for love and safety, and her talk of taking her life made it almost impossible to truly let go. I'm starting to doubt myself. She's truly loving, caring, gentle, and emotional. Yes, she has lied to me about serious things in the past. Yes, I've been completely drained from being her emotional anchor. But when she says things like, "You're the only one I felt safe with," I start to think I'm the bad guy for walking away. She also told me how afraid she is of therapy because of traumatic experience she once had when she was medicated and committed to a psychiatric facility against her will, and that she'd rather suffer alone than go through that again. So I'm terrified of doing anything that might finally push her over the edge, while simultaneously knowing that every further contact gives her more reason to hope that I might change my mind. It's getting serious. Get out. At the same time, without a proper degree, which I thought I had for at least half of Tuesday, I can't really move on. I can't find the peace and quiet to recover, nor can I remotely concentrate on my studies and study. I'm completely at my wit's end. We're supposed to talk on the phone tonight to discuss everything in detail. I have a headache. The headache is brewing from this. I'm emotionally stressed. I promised her I wouldn't just disappear or block her again without warning her, and I intend to keep that promise. But I also know I can't continue to be this emotionally available for her. I can't be the only one to carry her through this grief. I don't know how to, and we have a list. I don't know how to have a conversation without giving her false hope, gently reject her idea of visiting me without destroying her, provide emotional closure without slipping back into emotional dependency, end the conversation gently but definitely, decide whether I should block her again afterwards, and if so, how to prepare for it without re-traumatizing her. I never wanted to hurt her, but I'm not strong enough to go through this anymore, and it's destroying me emotionally. I just want her to be okay, and I need a way out that doesn't make me feel like someone who's letting someone down at their lowest moment. How can I respect their pain without being responsible for it? Any advice, any experience, or even just a few compassionate words would mean a lot to me right now. I feel responsible for their overall well-being, even though no other person could ever bear such a responsibility. And I just want to do the right thing for both of us. You need to do the right thing for yourself. You need to do what's best for you. You need to look out for you. You need to value yourself. Ugh. I'm scared to continue on and read these updates. Let's hydrate, because I'm thirsty. Grab your beverage of choice, but I hope you're drinking some water today. Cheers. Let's see what people are commenting now. The top comment on this one, someone wrote, "OP, your great empathy is a credit to you, but this woman doesn't deserve it. I read your first post and I'm shocked. She's not the person you think she is. She quickly recognized your empathetic, gentle personality and has been using and manipulating you ever since. Your age difference also plays a role here. You have to recognize this and make a clean break. She won't hurt herself and will sooner or later look for her next victim." OP wrote back saying, "Yes, I think if you look at it from the outside, you can hopefully judge it better, and I'll approach it that way and make the hard cut. It's a bit hard to be caught in the crossfire, for example, when you hear from the other side that their friends are saying I'm mean just because I didn't talk to them before making the decision. But, well, there's no way I can get out of this other than making a hard and unfortunately painful cut. The thing about one-sided toxic relationships, which makes them so tricky, is that everything is never black and white. No one is ultimately evil or ever perfect. If you spend 2/3 of your time caring for each other, it's easy to forget about the other third and block it out, deluding yourself into believing that it's your own fault and that everything's actually fine, and that you're the problem, not the other side, who acts destructively 1/3 of the time. If you know you need to get out, you gotta just rip off the friggin' Band-Aid, bro." We do have a final update, which came this month, August 2nd, 2025, 3 days later. Sir, if you haven't ended this relationship by now, I'm gonna be pissed. Okay. Unfortunately, I feel like it's not getting better. We actually had the conversation she wanted. I tried to calmly and honestly explain again why I couldn't continue, but what completely threw me, she simply ignored or reinterpreted many things I said. She clung to the parts where I told her that she was strong and that she meant a lot to me, but completely ignored the very clear statements about my decision and my boundaries. Nevertheless, I couldn't bring myself to tell her clearly during the call that I didn't want any more contact because I was afraid of an emotional outburst and I didn't feel emotionally ready for it. Next day, I messaged her again to make it clear that my decision hadn't changed. I wanted to be fair and offered to write her thoughts again, which she did, and I answered all her questions and impressions. But afterward, she asked me again for a call, saying that she couldn't and didn't want to live without me. I declined. I wished her all the best again, and I advised her to contact relatives, and then, together with her friend, blocked her everywhere. Thank God. Please let this be the last. I thought that was it. I was emotionally empty, but also relieved to have at least set a boundary. Panic, emptiness, and relief alternated, but it continued. That same Thursday evening, I went to the movies with my best friend because it was his birthday that week and he suggested it, and I wanted to give him his present. Shortly before the movie started, I was about to turn off my phone, and then I saw a new message had come in a few minutes earlier from an unknown number. This time, apparently her mother, which completely threw me because I just wanted at least a day of peace to slowly process it. The message was, on one hand, understanding, but on the other hand, very stressful. She wrote that she understood my decision and didn't mean any harm, but then she mentioned that she now has a heart problem herself and that she wouldn't actively harm herself, but wouldn't do anything about her condition if something happened. This is so twisted though. She also asked me to keep the lines of communication open for her in case we needed to check in on each other about our health. And all of this while I'm feeling worse than I ever could begin to describe. I have serious heart problems. My fatigue levels are way above the threshold, and my doctor told me that this could have long-term consequences at this level. On top of that, I'm currently under a lot of family pressure. My sister has been in need of care for almost 6 months following brain tumor surgery. My father is unemployed again, and I'm taking care of the paperwork for both of them. I don't mean to complain, but I just can't take it anymore. That's why I've decided to do nothing for now and use Friday to collect and process things and then decide what to do Saturday. What are we deciding? It's done. It's done. Good riddance. Goodbye. I've wished you well. You've broken up with her twice already. I literally have a headache. To be 22. This morning, Saturday, the next message from her arrived. She booked the Airbnb near me. Great. She wrote that she would be arriving on Monday to the nearest city, about 35 kilometers away, and wanted to explore the region. Luckily, she doesn't know where I live, but that doesn't make it much better. She said it wasn't crossing boundaries, not an attempt to force me to meet up, but that she had to do it for her self-therapy as she wanted to explore the region, and in order to let go, needed to at least feel like she had been near me. Then came the request. Could we meet, quote, for at least a hug? No. Shortly afterwards, she sent me old screenshots of chat histories without comment, in which we wished each other all the best and strength for our challenges. I was simply speechless. What really shocks me is that she's actually leaving without a return date, has almost no money, is traveling alone, and no one around her is stopping her, not even her mother. And me? I don't just feel uncomfortable, I'm scared now. Scared that she'll actually show up, scared that I'll become soft again, scared that my home won't feel like a safe place anymore. I don't want to hurt anyone. I sincerely hope she gets better soon, but this isn't normal anymore. I really am at my limit. I can barely eat, barely sleep. My heart is constantly racing. My mind can't stop, and I just don't know what to do. Keep, block, delete. Don't even answer. Don't respond. Give nothing. Control, Alt, delete. Everything moving forward. Erased from your mind. Someone asked, does the ex, her, know where OOP lives? OOP wrote, no, she doesn't know the location, and she doesn't know my last name either. Finding that out will hopefully be virtually impossible. I followed your advice and wrote the exact same thing to the mother, then blocked the number on WhatsApp and for text messages and calls. While I was at dinner, however, she apparently called from yet another number, which is the 4th number in total. Since I don't have to leave this weekend anyway, I've removed my SIM card for now. Smart. So at least text messages and calls are no longer possible. Next person commented, I think you've already done way too much. Offering to explain things to her countless times. Why? You want to break up. It's your life, your decision. For now, no more conversations alone. If she starts talking to you, call the police, and if necessary, report her. Of course, she has to deal with the end of the relationship without you. OOP wrote, "You're right. I'll definitely not respond to any further attempts to contact her. Unfortunately, that hasn't worked so far because she always finds someone else to contact me instead. I'll have to see what I can do to prevent that. Please." Please, I'm hoping she's not actually coming to that Airbnb, but if she is, she doesn't know where you live, continue on. Even if she came up to you, she goes, "Oh my God, babe," I literally would be like, "I don't know who you are. I'm so sorry. You have the wrong person. I don't even know who you are." That's what I would do. Let me know your thoughts on this, you guys. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy. I'll see you tomorrow.